so much.
You're so far along yet so infantile. What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 188. I am your host, Anthony Trapani, and as always, got the resident homies with me. I got Casey Howard and Joel Horner with me tonight. What up, dudes?
What up?
Yeah, and tonight we got a very, very special guest, old friend of ours. We've been out on the road together. I've always been keeping, tabs on what you've been doing and always working hard and got tons of projects, dude. And I'm going to take a stab at your last name right now. Mike.
I didn't even ask.
Hrubovcak.
Yeah, perfect. No. Yeah, I always tell everybody it's close enough because I'm tired of trying to tell people what it's,
I know,
what it
dude.
is. So
I'm already bad with names on the show in general, dude. And then I see yours, and that made me like sweat this week. Like, fuck.
It's Hrubovcak though. The H is silent.
Okay.
Hrubovcak.
Yeah. I thought I told you that 20 years ago, dude.
I know, dude. And I definitely had this. I guarantee I had this conversation with you multiple times on tour, and then you just read it, you don't see it. Say it.
Yeah. Hrubovcak. Yeah. H. Mike H is fine.
What is your genome nationality? What does that come from?
Slovakian.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a mutt. It's like half Polish, half German, and Slovakian in there too. So
Yes, I could tell. Yeah.
Well, dude, right on, Mike, for hanging out with us, dude. You've been a wanted guest between me and my co-host for several years, dude. So I'm glad
this is my first podcast, and probably my first and only. But you guys are like friends. I consider you friends because we have history and shit. So
totally, dude.
Cali podcast.
Cali podcast. Hell yeah. So what history was that? 18 years ago. Get my calendar out here.
Crazy, dude.
Actually, yeah, summertime. Exactly 18 years ago.
We should do the plugs just real quick before we dive into that, because I know that'll start.
Yeah, I think it was July. Exactly July, right? 18 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah. Bloodletting 5.
Yeah, you know what sucks is like I had a hard drive die a while back, so I lost all the pictures from that tour, and I lost all everything I had. I remember asking Colin if he had extra pictures he could send me, because that taught me to always back up your stuff 3 times. Back up twice, 3 times.
Well, I got the camera that I took out there somewhere in storage, dude, and it's got the.
Oh yeah, go full screen with it.
There you go. Bloodletting.
Dude, there's Erland.
Yeah, see, I was watching this on YouTube, and I didn't realize you had this up there.
Battery's running out.
Warbreaker. Oh, dude, that's Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh yeah.
That was like the Peppermint something or whatever.
Peppermint Beach Club.
Yeah,
right, something like that.
It's just the first minute of this is worth it.
It gave me Santa Cruz vibes for sure.
Flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. Damn,
I
it's
remember,
crazy how old it looks.
All the normies like walking by the show and looking in the window and watching us play and shit.
I think there's some Toronto in here too. I'm not sure.
It's crazy that the footage looks like it's from the 80s.
Yeah, check it out. I know.
Oh yeah, this might be Toronto. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, there you are.
Hey. Who this is? Babyface.
You gotta wake up now. Hey, it's all dark. I can't see it. We need like no sleep.
Never sleep on tour.
Food here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's
Dude, that was like that was post getting across the border 2 hours at the customs.
Oh, that was Toronto
and all that kind of shit. Toronto was the first show, yeah.
Or that was Toronto once.
Yeah.
That was Virginia, you said, right? Or that was
but then it switched to Toronto. Like at the end.
Switched to the Canadian show. That's right. So it was the day after my 21st birthday.
Was that your video, Casey? Did you upload that? So you edited it to where it was just random, like
I didn't edit anything, man. It was just where it was. I don't know. Just what was on the. It was mini disc player. Wasn't like a mini disc recorder. Handheld camcorder. Damn.
Yeah. Dude, you guys got to send me whatever pictures you have because I lost them all. So it'd be cool to have them again. I was like looking through YouTube, watching the old, whatever's up there, YouTube videos, like of all our sets and D's and you guys, and it was pretty surreal. I was like, wow,
I know,
it's crazy how much time's gone by.
Had you done any touring before that, Mike?
The one right before that was Gutting Europe, which I did with Vile directly before that, and then we went to meet up with you guys for the bloodletting. I think it was right after. I have one memento, which is this.
Yes, dude, I still got it. I still got it somewhere too.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that there.
Damn, I got that too. My studio, I got the same.
It's killer. But it has the dates on the back. It's pretty much all of July and then like half of August.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
So that's pretty.
I know it was definitely my birthday, and or it was my 22nd birthday was there because I remember me and Erland. I almost got arrested, and there's that whole story. But like, it was like Erland and basically got me a bottle of wild turkey for my birthday, and we just like chugged pretty much the majority of it before I went on stage, and then I like pushed pushed Anthony off stage that night, and like I was like had the guy from Skinless kick me in the balls as hard as he could. That's what I heard.
And there was also my favorite part was you getting stuck in between the seats in the van, and we just left you there for like an hour, dude. And then I came back and you were still just giggling, dude. You were on the ground giggling in between the seats, dude. By yourself.
Which show was this? The first one, or what's
that was Saratoga
Springs. Saratoga.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Because we were coming up through New York to eventually go over through
the border. Was the next day.
And
I think the border was. I remember meeting up with everyone at Denny's, and like all the Deeds guys and everyone. They're just like, dude, what the fuck? Like when they saw me the next day, they were all, you had a good one, huh? Everyone was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
On that night, dude. You were
back when you were young enough to bounce back the next day and be fine, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that wild?
I know.
Yeah,
that was insane. After a night like that, just like vomiting, all just like completely blacked out, like almost get arrested. Hear all the stories about it the next day, and you're like, holy fuck, dude, I need to calm the fuck down.
You're having like a youngster's hangover in a van as it's flying across the fucking country, But you just have to deal with it, dude. Drinking dollar store energy drinks and granola.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
we were getting down.
So you can get to the next pizza in case of Bud Light.
Just keep it going. All right, do you want to do the plugs?
All right, let's do the plugs real quick. Let's as you just saw on that little tour pass that Mike just showed, battleforgecoffee.com, owned by our homies in Deeds of Flesh. Always plugging them up top. They're our death metal dads and took us out on this sick tour that we're probably going to talk a lot about tonight. And so we want you to go buy their coffee, buy their t-shirts. They got mugs. They got all the crazy shit over there. Battleforgecoffee.com. Generator Rehearsal
Cali Death Podcast back.
GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com. And Oceanside, California is a jam space owned by a friend of the show, Ben, and we want you to go jam there if you're in that vicinity. Hashtag beat it out. We're gonna hold off on that. We'll be hitting the merch. We'll be talking about merch again soon, but right now it's kind of locked up. Our merch is far away from us. All of us
had an issue with the old.
And then he Professor wanted us to plug. What's the shit that he wanted us to plug? Let's pull that up real quick in the Cali Death chat. Sorry, everybody.
Is that your car, dude?
No, that's just one I was working on that day. It's funny. Casey was up there for something. It's so funny. We just talked about this last week, and I forget again what you were up for.
Just to say what's up, or
Retromorphosis recording.
Yeah. All right. Professor wants us to plug parasitic septicity.bandcamp.com. The new album Genesis of the Infestation. They got some what do they got on? I'm going to their Bandcamp right now to see if it's full album or just like a couple songs. Yeah, it's only one.
What?
Parasitic Septicity.
Septicity?
Yeah.
Okay.
so
It's oh yeah. Joseph drummed on it. That's why we're plugging it. Love you, Professor.
All right.
I didn't read the whole thing. I just remember you saying that you wanted something plugged. So that's what you got. You got the first track off the new album, Genesis of the Infestation, is up there right now at their Bandcamp. Go peep it. Your resident homie, Professor Joseph K, is beating the skins on that. All right. Texas Domination Festival. Whoever's playing there.
Discord.
Oh yeah.
Last weekend of September. Our big comeback.
Oh, you're playing. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is TVV playing or no?
I don't know. I know.
How do you not know, bro?
Dude, I love death metal, dude. No, I don't. There's a lot of bands that are playing, and it's actually a sick lineup. I know Lust of Decay is going to be there. I'm going to
rad.
Fucking see those guys again, and
dude.
Yeah, but
God damn it.
All right, let's go on to Mike. Mike, where do you want people to go for everything, Mike?
Visualdarkness.com pretty much is my art stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You know, besides my Instagram, that's where I post my music stuff, I guess. I'm not really doing, Facebook as much or whatever.
So visualdarkness.com has
that's pretty
links
much it.
to all your other bands, all the stuff that you've worked on.
What's that?
On Visual Darkness, it also have links to all the bands and stuff?
Yeah, on the About page, it has links to all the albums and whatever, discography if you want.
Nice.
Check it out.
That's sick that you got that URL too, dude. Visualdarkness.com.
Yeah, I've had that forever now.
You would think that
you had it back in the day. In the bloodletting days, you had that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's been like your main art spot. Are you still doing a lot of covers and stuff? You're doing a lot of
Yeah. Well, whenever I can. So I got the Heavy Music Artwork is putting out an art book. 20 years Visual Darkness or whatever. So that's coming out, or it's actually up right now for pre-order, I think, on their website. But
one of my favorite things that actually I still think about it to this day whenever I think about like something to put up in the bathroom is I don't know why this sticks in my memory, but you had this bathroom drawing that you had of like all these like metalheads like pissing at the urinal and like looking back like or something like there's like a pissed off guy looking back at you and there's like,
how do you remember that, dude? Was that
I took a picture of it. Yeah, I took a picture of it. Yeah, and I remember just like thinking it was like, dude, I want that so bad.
Dude, it's hanging up in my bathroom right now. Still
nice.
Yeah, sick.
I remember
it's hilarious.
Philly. We stayed there or something. We hung.
Yeah, we stayed a night there, I think.
Yeah. Me and my friend Sean had a place in Philly at the time. I think you guys.
That's right. What band did he play in?
Rumpelstiltskin Grinder.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I remember you had a connection.
I think you guys, played and then crashed or something like that.
I think it was Decrepit. I think.
Yeah, because I'm saying I never went to Philly, so it must have been a Decrepit tour.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, weird. Okay, yeah. But didn't we go to Dunkin'?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Was there like a Dunkin' Donuts or something nearby or some shit? Was that totally wrong?
Probably.
Never mind. No, okay.
There was a Wawa across the street, of course.
Okay.
Wawa's
probably hit that up.
PA.
Yeah.
I have a sick memory.
Wasn't there like a Denny's or something? Like wasn't there like a McDonald's, Starbucks close by?
The Long John Silver's down.
All that shit blends together. You can't even, it's hard to remember.
It is
totally,
actually really hard to
100%.
remember that, but
But
there's
Joel, I remember you making fun of me for telling you about, I think, the train station at Secaucus, and you're like, "What? Secaucus? Sec what?" Like
I mean,
Secaucus
it's
train
right
station.
there though.
You kept
dude.
repeating it like, nice. And
Yeah,
Joel's
that sounds
like,
like
what?
me.
Say it again.
Secaucus, dude.
That's what I remember
Classic.
from that.
That's rad, dude.
I remember a pissing picture. So that's
Yeah, the pissing
Yeah,
picture.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
It is crazy to think that you do what we do, like 29, 30 shows in like 32 days or some shit like that. And there's only like a handful of memories that you can actually go back to in your mind. You know, other shit gets hazy and other things are completely forgotten. Like a lot of things are completely forgotten.
Probably because we drank too much in that tour,
Yeah, we definitely did.
especially with
Yeah, the
Erwin,
tour.
right? He was our drinking buddy.
Yeah, he was
God.
definitely our drinking buddy, dude. And it was crazy that you guys were in that minivan the whole time, dude.
Oh, that's right. You guys were crammed in there.
Yeah, yeah.
No
Well, that was like,
trailer.
you know, we had did the Gutting Europe tour with like Monstrosity. It was like Impaled, Vile, Deeds of Flesh, and Monstrosity. But we did 33 days straight in Europe. Then we came back and did this tour in a minivan. We were in a nightliner on that tour. And then this tour with you guys with a minivan with amps stacked up on my knees, you know, against the amps.
So
And
wow,
then
you guys
Lance
did that.
falling asleep on my shoulder with his like
After-
feet in my with his socks and whatever. These
after
are things I remember.
after
Yeah,
packing one of his homemade cigarettes in his little contraption.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Remember
yeah.
he rolled his own cigarettes and he wouldn't even pack them down. There would be like tobacco hanging out the tip still when he lit it up.
Yeah. So to deal with that whole van, me and Erwin just got drunk every night.
Yeah.
Go get a bottle of vodka and like hopefully if I black out, I won't care about how uncomfortable I am, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's the move. Especially
so
you guys
wild,
were
though.
you guys was 3 people. I just remember poking my head in, and it was 3 guys on that back bench, and then you had like gear everywhere, and then 2 in the front, and then it was like you guys were just like fucking like
Yeah.
Squish
Sleep,
shoulder to
you know,
shoulder.
standing up or sitting up or whatever.
damn.
And then you open the door up and you just kind of fall out and then like crawl to the gas station to get a drink or whatever.
It really
God
was like
damn.
It was,
that,
it was
dude.
brutal, but it was fun. You know, when you're young, you can do that and it doesn't matter.
We don't really, yeah.
Definitely.
When we look back on these tours, I'm not thinking about how shitty our sleeping situations were. I'm thinking about all the cool shit that we did, you know?
Yeah. And I was watching those YouTube videos that I guess KC you had posted or Joel you had posted a couple. And, you know, it's so surreal because everybody was on fire, dude. It was like awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To watch you guys every night and fucking Decrepit and KC doing 2 sets every night. Like, that's crazy. And
It
then
was
you know,
insane,
watching
dude.
Eric and Jacoby, it was epic.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
videos of
dude.
Casey drumming, I think, is you narrating or it's you holding the camera or something. I have a memory of that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
are you walking
Fire.
around on stage with us or something? I think it might be, it's on YouTube somewhere, I think. If you, in the Toronto show, you walk around going like, hey, guys, what's going on? Like interviewing us and
That's
stuff.
what I just.
I think-
That's what I just put on at the beginning of the show.
Oh,
Well,
there was
we
one
were-
where it was
we were
like on
walking-
stage. It's like a full set or like most of the set of like our
I
set
think
in
there's
Toronto.
like 20 or just over 20
That's it.
minutes
That's
of
the
the
video.
set.
I just stopped
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
just
you
keep
stopped
going.
it. Okay, okay.
You guys
Okay,
remember?
okay.
You guys remember the pink eye?
Yeah, dude, with no
was
AC
that?
and
read
literally
it?
flicking. I was
Oh,
flicking my
Tulsa.
sweat on the
Yeah.
people because I was
Tulsa.
drenched in sweat.
It was like over 110 degrees inside or something, right? Remember
Was that the place that had the cut beer too? It was 2.5%.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma. Yep, and there's places in Fort Worth that are like that too. Where it's like you get a steel reserve. Like we'll get a steel reserve and like get around the system, and like the steel reserve had 2.5%. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, why the fuck would you drink a steel reserve with 2.5% alcohol? Like that doesn't
It's
make any sense.
ridiculous, dude. 2% over a non-alcoholic beer. Isn't a non-alcoholic saying below 0.5 or
It's
whatever?
0.5 or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The show in Eureka with the people hanging from the hooks.
Oh
yeah.
Remember that shit?
Wow, forgot about that.
yeah,
That's like a
insane.
separate room, right? Or whatever. Yeah.
There was
I
like
don't
people
know.
in like the crowd, like in
They were
the
in the
crowd or
crowd.
behind,
Oh.
behind the in the very back of the
Yeah.
audience, like hanging from hooks. And then this girl like ran in with a knife or something. We like were like, all right, let's take off. Like this girl's like, I'm gonna stab someone. Like ran with a knife. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
it's time for us to take off.
It's kind of
There's
methy up
lots
there.
of
but yeah, it was
meth
good.
up there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely messy.
Oh, Jax
A
was
little
sick
messed
in
up.
Springfield. That was
Jax
cool, man.
was sick. Jax was
La-
actually like a nice little baton pass in merch sales for us. I remember
Jax
it
is
was
always sick.
that was almost like sold
I don't
out
think
or
it's
sold
there
out or
anymore.
something.
Yeah.
And I
I think
think it
Jax
was
is
like
gone.
300 or 400 people that were there, and it was like one of those moments on the tour where you're reinvigorated, like, oh shit, dude, yeah, we're out
it's
here
still
for a
open.
reason. That was a fun show because you hit the places where it's like 16 people, 30 people, you know.
Yeah.
Fucking Jax. It's just in a fucking like little mini mall, like a shitty mini mall.
Which one was the gas station? Was that Oklahoma? We played a gas station. Remember, it was like a they built like a walkout stage, and it was like
It was
it was
still
a gas station.
plywood.
Garage.
Wasn't it still plywood?
Yeah,
maybe.
it was like,
Yeah, I think
it
that
was like a gas
Knights
station
of
garage
Columbus. Knights of Columbus.
or something.
Knights of Columbus was
Ohio.
no, that was like a moose lodge type deal. Like,
Oh yeah.
remember they sold, the bar was separate in the back. You could only go back there if you were 21 and but yeah, dude, these are all super fun aspects of life, dude, and I'm glad we had them.
Last show was at the Pound, dude.
That was one of the last shows
night.
at the Pound. I think there's like one or two other shows after that at the Pound, and then it closed.
I cried like a bitch on the way home from that show.
Yeah.
What, the
That was a bummer.
last Pound show or what? The last?
Yeah, it was
They
the last
closed?
show, and well, I'm saying the last show of our tour.
Oh, that's right.
I said all my goodbyes to you guys, and we made so many friends on that tour, dude. I just that depression hit me right away as soon as
that was probably my favorite or top two of my favorite tours because it was my first one. So it was like just the excitement of going with your friends and traveling everywhere and seeing everything for the first time and just being like, whoa, and being there with your buddies and stuff, and then laughing and joking and partying and having a good time. That was,
like Mike said, we were all fucking on point. Like we were on fire. All the bands, we definitely came out to play every single night.
That's definitely the most confident I felt in the band going on tour. I remember we did one last practice before we left with Decrepit there and everything, and I just felt like we fucking got this. I just felt like the most like fucking like no worries, because I hadn't had anything go wrong either on stage yet. Once you have those issues where train wrecks or things go wrong, that's or your gear blows up or something, then your brain goes like, fuck, I need to like prepare more, or like, you don't really have that we just had that confidence going in.
It's a brag, but the worries that we had didn't have to do with us on stage. The worries that we had were where we were going to sleep, what are we going to eat,
yeah.
Where are we
like
going to
announcing
shit?
on stage like, hey, can we stay at your house? Like doing those old announcements on stage, just going like, anyone got a place for us to crash? We don't want to fucking get a hotel. Yeah, those are the days. But anyways,
totally.
Let's get back.
Or like,
what
are we going to do to not be bored until the show starts? Kick a hack.
Yeah.
That never ends. That fucking never ends whenever you're on tour. Just like, especially like summer slaughters that, like show up at like fucking 10 a.m.'s like bus call or like getting in and loading and stuff. And you're like, all right, let's sit till 7 and then we'll play. And then like just like 9 hours or something of just like nothing. And then you're like, all right, let's get hyped up. Ooh. Like get up there and like, I know. And then you have to like pretty much just bolt it after an hour or two after you're done, pack up your merch, bolt it and go to the next show and then barely make it on time and then do the same thing over and over and over. That was like the fucking crucible for bands that didn't have bus drivers. Mm-hmm. But anyways, let's get on the Mike story. Anthony, do your pitch, dude.
My pitch. All right. So we obviously
we're still talking bloodletting tours. We're gonna go.
Yeah, man.
We'll go back to it.
Yeah, we could do that, or we can keep going bloodletting, dude. If you want to keep.
Yeah, we can go bloodletting.
I think Mike had something he was gonna say before.
Yeah. Let the man speak.
I don't remember. I was gonna say something. I was just thinking about the Pound, about how crazy that last show was when you were, we were all on fire and we were all partying at the end, and there was that drama with Jacoby.
Oh yeah,
the guy, that kid, and all that stuff.
Dude.
Yeah, that was wild. Well, yeah, because
we were wrestling on the floor after at the end or whatever.
Yep, dude. I mooned everybody, and Hamilton smacked me so hard that I had a hand welt on my fucking butt cheek, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
I remember that tour manager too. I remember there was some drama with the tour manager at the very end where he was like crying at the end because Colin like cussed him out or something. And it was like it's like how it all ended for me. It was like he was like crying, and I'm like, it's all good, dude. You did a good job, blah blah. And then I said bye to everyone. And that was like the end of the tour. It was like
we got I got into a fight with him in Seattle because they tried to cut us early, and we were the first band. And remember, we were just like, fuck it, we're playing another song, and we played another song. And then we went to the bar down the street, and he like stomped in, all trying to be fucking authoritarian and give us some shit about it. And I had already had a couple of beers, and I just fucking let loose on him, dude. I don't even remember what I said, but I was just like, I don't know, dude.
That's such a rookie move now, like doing that, going like, no, we're gonna fucking play our set like other bands.
I know,
like,
I know.
Fuck you, dude. Like
that's totally not pro. That's not a pro thing.
There's been bands that I've toured with that have done that before, and we're just like, dude, cut their fucking sound.
You turned, but we were 21, dude. We were
I know, we didn't know what we were doing. We felt like we got screwed out of something, or something happened, and I felt like it wasn't really our fault, and we were eating shit for it, or something. Is kind of like my memory of it, but it wasn't like because of we fucked up or something, you know. And I think we had to eat the turd, and we were like, fuck that, we're gonna play another song. And then
no, it's because it started later because of some other bullshit that had nothing to do with us. And I could see if you're the headliner and your whole package is lagging, and then you get cut off, you being a bitch about that is kind of more unprofessional than us being like, dude, we're the first band, and it had nothing to do with us or the package. I think it had something to do with the club.
And also, like, Odious and Decrepit had the same drum kit. It's not going to be like a huge long turnover. Like,
yeah.
It's like drums are already up, you know. Don't need to worry about it.
Were there openers beside, you know?
I think there was. It probably was that. Dude.
The openers could have pushed us, and then we got fucked, and then it kind of like just.
That's a classic tale.
Yeah.
There were some cool openers on those tours though. Give it up for Embalmer. Embalmed was Seattle, I think, actually the same night.
Yeah,
they were sick, man, dude. And I think
you know what was Gathering of the Sick? Oh, that was a different one. Gathering of the Sick was a different tour, right?
Are you sure? Oh man, it was the Double Duties that was Gathering.
Yeah. All right.
What about New York? You guys having an off day in New York was sick.
Is that where Joel tried to fight the cop or something?
No, that was Saratoga Springs. I mean,
that was New York, though. That was New York, though.
I'm talking New York proper, New York City.
Oh yeah,
when we stayed in Brooklyn. Where'd you guys stay when we were in our off day in New York?
Shit, dude, I don't remember.
Yeah,
this is a while ago. I'm trying to even remember the show.
Well, we played downtown, the downtown or downtime. That's what it was. And dude from Mortician set up and had like $20 portraits signed by him at the merch table. I was like, that's crazy, dude. To just set up a picture of yourself for $20.
Malignancy guys showed up, right? All the Eternal Suffering and Malignancy or something showed up.
Mortal Decay.
Yeah.
Decay guys were there. Yeah, that was actually a sick one too. If you think about like shows that people showed up for, that was a good crowd.
I think I found
Montclair, New Jersey. It says here. I don't even remember that either. Yeah. Oh shit! I remember that monkey. Where was that at?
Yeah, right.
We all took pictures in front of that thing.
Yeah, dude. It's like New Mexico or something.
I remember it being like Nebraska, like in the middle of nowhere. I remember it being like in the south somewhere, like completely out in the middle of like a truck stop.
Place like New Mexico or something.
I forget whatever day that I didn't play with you guys because I flew back for the wedding that I was in. That's the part of the tour that I missed because I never saw
remember the monkey.
Gorilla. I don't remember the gorilla, dude.
I think I have a picture of me behind it, round it, you know. But I think I lost it in that hard drive that died. But whatever.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, like I said, I got that camera. I got that camera, and I got the. I don't know if it was micro SD back then. Either way, I got pictures that I took too.
Yeah, I remember being pulled over in Canada and having them go through all our shit for like 2 hours or whatever.
At the
I think
customs.
I randomly sat with you guys for that, and I think you swapped vans or something. I remember going through with Cullen, and we just got fucking. They just waved us through, and then you guys got.
Oh
like,
yeah,
we were all swapped vans or something, and I sat with like, I sat pilot with Colin, and there he's like, just like he's all yeah, blah blah, and like just did it perfectly, and they're like, okay, go through, and we just got through, and then
yeah.
you
I
might have
remember
been in
sitting
another
on
van.
the floor for hours, just being like, dude, let's go.
Yeah, I remember that too. I don't know why we were hanging out and waiting for you guys. I thought, Joel, you weren't with us when we went
I
through
might be mixing it
customs?
up with something else, but I remember us just getting waved through or something, or maybe
No,
I
we
don't
didn't get
know. It
waved
was-
through. We definitely got stopped, and I was surprised that
Huh.
they didn't find our alleged merchandise hidden in the drums, because we had said that we were just roadies.
No, we're
Yeah,
just
you
saying,
had
no,
to, everybody take a little bit of
promotional.
merch and put it in your personal bag to make it look like a personal item, So that way there's less stuff for them to count. And that way, when they're going through the boxes, they,
That's a
less.
good idea. Yeah.
I mean, Eric was always telling us, say it's promotional use, like you guys
Giveaway.
Giving it away.
Yeah.
Speaking of
you
merch,
guys haven't. Jesus. Damn.
We were selling Carnivorous shirts on a tour that Carnivorous wasn't even playing on. Dude, and it looks
The
cool
way-
that the Cali deaths in the background. Like
dude,
it's
how
part of
funny
the-
that picture works out, like in Joel's screen on the set. Looks like there was a Cali death on the screen back in 2006.
Dude,
2006.
Mandela effect, dude.
Oh man, yeah, that was a brick by brick, I think.
No,
must have
that
been-
was
Oh no,
I think that was
no, that was Toronto.
did we play?
So
Brick-
how's Bill and Matt doing? You guys hang out or run into them? Like you guys in the
Yeah,
same
I've been Matt
town?
at shows and stuff. I've seen Matt at shows. He looks great right now, dude. He's lost a ton of weight and he's like jacked now. It's kind of
bodybuilder
crazy.
now.
You guys are all
Yeah.
generally close in living wise or whatever. And
They're still down in St.
Joel
John's
is-
area.
Yeah, I still run into Bill every now and then. His punk band, I forget what it's called, but
FSA.
FSA, something like that. They actually play
Society
local
Band,
bars
I think.
around here. They like so. Every time I run into them, it's just like we never had not been hanging out. We just feel like we're in the same just like we're still bros and hang out and still talk whenever we get the chance. But he's on his own kind of trip up the coast, kind of. So we just see him whenever he's in town, and we happen to run into him. I saw Matt at I saw him. I just said I think I nodded at him because he was so far away, but it was at the Entheos show because I just wanted to stop by and say hi to Cheney and Naveen, and I saw Matt there. He's like going to every show now. He's going through like a thing where he's got more time to go to every show now. I don't want to say.
Yeah,
But,
I saw him
he's
at
got
Cannibal
a lot more time in his
Gorguts, and he was in a great mood, and we had a good time watching Gorguts, dude. It was
nice.
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
I saw them when they came around with Pathology. I think I went out and said hi to Bill and Matt and everything.
Nice.
Oh
It
yeah,
was a good show. It was a good
that's
show.
awesome. Yeah,
Totally.
no, they're still out there doing it. I think Matt's writing for the new album. Last time I talked to him a few months ago about it, so I think he's been working so much now that I think that it took a back seat. But I think he's gonna put something out pretty soon, hopefully.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys doing another Odious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually I'm going into the studio in October to lay down the vocals. The music's pretty much done.
Killer.
Yeah, dude.
I was just jamming this earlier, dude.
Oh, shit. Fuck
dude.
yeah! Nice.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
rad, dude. Yeah. That one
Hell
was
yeah.
fun. That was us trying to,
Now you got to put the first two out on vinyl.
I know, right?
I want
That would be
Cryptic
sick
on
to have
vinyl. So I
Cryptic
mean,
on
the
vinyl
first
for
one would be
sure.
awesome too. But I want the Cryptic. I just be so sick to have on vinyl. I was like looking for because they have these certain people that will just put random albums on vinyl and just sell them for like a lot. They'll just like
Mhm.
pay for it to be put on vinyl somehow through a website or something, and then they'll go on eBay. And I think there was one out there I saw, and I was like, "Fuck, I want that." But I have to
Yeah.
talk to Unique Leader to redo that. Maybe when we have the re-release or the release of our new album, we can be like, "Hey, in the deal, can you put that? Give us 100?"
I think you just gave away a little something there.
Oh,
Unannounced information.
we haven't signed anything.
Yeah, but Synesthesia, that album that you were holding there is pretty cool, Mike, because the dude who did the art is everybody that was involved in that shit was a homie, and the guy who did that art, that's a actual physical piece of art that was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't do it on the computer or anything like that. That was actually a painting that he did, and
With like it was like you could like feel it, like there's layers to it. He put like actual like tape down. I feel like he did because it felt like it had like gradient to it, like it was multi-layered.
There was
it
actually
like the old school airbrush days where I used to mask and then spray and then like it's got little speckles there, so I can.
What's his name? What's his art name again? He's like pretty popular actually.
Iron Glacier. He's got it's like Adam Friedman is his name. I think you can find it multiple ways for his website, but Iron Glacier on socials, and he's a tattoo artist now up in Portland.
Yeah, you should peep his other stuff, dude. It's all really sick.
He's got 120,000 followers.
So, Mike, when did you start getting into doing art?
I was a kid, a baby, I guess. My parents gave me crayons and started drawing stuff, and that was it. And then, as it went on, I guess started painting more and drawing more, and then I got into metal, and then looking at all the old metal covers, got fascinated with that stuff. So
totally. What kind of music were you hearing in the house when you were a kid before you discovered metal?
Well, my brother was into, the old hair metal stuff. And, I first got into Metallica, Megadeth, and Testament, the big, Slayer, the Big Four, all that stuff. And then I was taking karate class. I think I was like 11 or 12. And then my friend at karate class gave me a mixtape of all these death metal bands. I was like, oh shit. So I took that home, and once I heard all that stuff, Morbid Angel, Bull Thrower, Nocturne.
Did you practice your karate to that mixtape at all in your life?
I should have, yeah. But that's that put me on the death metal spiral. Once I heard that, I was all about the death. But before that, I was painting, like Vic Rattlehead on my skateboard and shit, and being a normal metal kid or whatever.
So skating was part of the early childhood as well.
Yeah, skateboarding until I fell off and fucked my knee up and whatever. But
yeah, at an early age.
Or I was young. It wasn't bad, but when you're a kid, everything's bad.
Totally. So, all right.
But yeah,
you said 11 was when you got the mixtape of the series.
Yes, I guess I got into metal young, like 10 years old, like Metallica and all that stuff. And then I remember running, with my little headphones going up and down the hallway and singing along to Metallica. But then I got into, of course, got into the heavier shit as you go along, and then it was all over.
So
I found what that thing that just clicks. Like, oh shit, this is.
Was JJ? Did JJ go through the same process, like after the hair metal shit too?
Well, he was in the metal, but I think I helped him get into the heavier stuff too. I showed him Emperor for the first time and stuff like that.
Nice.
I started digging deep into the underground stuff.
What's the age difference between you and JJ?
I think he's like 3 years older than me. 2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
Damn, I missed that guy. We didn't even talk about.
Is it just you and him, or you got any other siblings?
No, just me and him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
death metal duo.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
I side note, I still put on the death metal Christmas album multiple times during the Christmas season for my children to enjoy.
Nice. Keep it going. That's good. Make it a Christmas ritual. Yeah.
It is. Definitely is, ever since it came out. So who was the first dude who wasn't your brother that you met that was into the same kind of stuff? Like because we all have once you find friends, and you start to get exposed to even more than your.
Yeah, well, as a kid, I think there there wasn't many people in my school that were into underground death metal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, they were into the typical, you know, Pantera, Metallica, all that kind of stuff, Slayer. But so I would pretty much bring in mixtapes for everybody else of all the underground shit. Bolt Thrower, all that stuff.
The Procure, you were the one that handed it off to everyone, kind of showed everyone.
Yeah,
I
was the freak that, you know, you called me the growler, and I'd go up and down the hallways and growl and you know, freak out and smash my head in the walls and do all that kind of stuff.
Hell
and then there was like a kid or a friend of mine who was like an older class above me, and he was like, you know, you should come out and sing for our band or whatever. So, you know, he's just like, do what you do. Here's a microphone, growl, sing something. And then that's how that started my first band, Disillusion, in high school.
So how far along were they? Well,
they were doing, you know, they were just messing around in their backyard and doing backyard shows and stuff. And then we started.
So they already had songs written and stuff when you joined?
They had a couple songs, but they were just, you know, in their bedrooms we were jamming. And then it wasn't until, I guess, 16 when we started doing, you know, basement shows and stuff.
What was what would you call like the main influence of that band? Like,
well, they, you know, they loved like Obituary at the time and things like that, and so it sounded kind of like old Bolt Thrower, I would think, like old Bolt Thrower,
right?
But then it gradually went on and got, I think around I was 18. And then, you know how back in the day in the 90s, like people couldn't get past the vocals, you know, like the death metal vocals. So like, oh, I like the music except for the vocals. So
yeah, such a common statement.
Yeah. So they kind of outed me in a way. And then they got somebody that sounds like James Hetfield, pretty Metallica, you know, vocal wise. And which is good. And they made a demo tape and they promoted that a lot, and it went good or whatever. And then that was around the time after I graduated where then me and the drummer at the time went with my brother and made Divine Rapture. I don't know if you remember that band.
Oh yeah.
Someone asked about it right here. Someone just asked that. Do you still jam?
Yeah,
Divine
that was around the time 18 was after Disillusion. I left those guys or whatever, or they went and did the demo tape, and then I did Divine Rapture. And then Matt Childress was playing drums for a while, or then he later died, unfortunately, of a blood clot in his leg or whatever. But so then me and my brother then took Divine Rapture and went with it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm going out on tour with you. I did my research to find out, you know, all your guys' origins in Divine Rapture. And I think you might have had the Ice album out before you went.
That was later. Tour. That was later. We did Divine Rapture for like, you know, was it 97 to 2002 or something like that? But that was, you know, pretty much all my brother and writing all that stuff. And I did all the artwork and the vocals, and we played Milwaukee Metal Fest a couple times. And then we recorded that album, The Burning Passion. And then, you know, I guess we all kind of got in a fight over the mix of the album, which is stupid thinking about it now, looking back. But, you know, you're young, you take everything too seriously.
Right.
And so then Divine Rapture kind of broke up around that time. But then that's around when we did that Ice album or whatever.
Yeah.
With Ron. But
well, Azure Emote, I think I'm saying it right. That band was something that stuck with me till to this day. I was listening to it this week and, you know, rekindling my love for that project, dude. And that had to have come not too long after that, because you already had the promo for the Chronicles album.
Oh shit! Yeah, wow.
And you did hand it to me. It's I have a physical copy of the promo with different artwork than it did when it came out. And
was it a CD or a tape? I don't even remember that.
It was a CD, just a CDR, but you had you know, artwork on it and everything, a little like slip in the case. But that album, when I first heard that, and still to this day listening to it, I had such a good time listening to that album and the ones after that too. But I have this special connection with the Chronicles because you had given it to me on the Bloodletting, and so I've been listening to it since then.
Cool. Yeah.
Because that was 06, and that album didn't officially come out until 07. So I had like a nice chunk of time with it before it even dropped.
Nice. Yeah, that was the first one. That was the weird one, I guess. Well, that was also after I broke up or Divine Rapture broke up, is when I decided to do that with my friend Ryan Mole, because he was playing bass for Divine Rapture.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be like, I want to do something, but so for a while I sang live with the Rumpelstiltskin Grinder, which he was making at the time, like the first show or something like that, and then I would go over to his house and I would sing, riffs into my little handheld tape recorder. And then I'd go to his house in his basement and like, play this, here, palm mute this part, speed pick this part. And then, so it was really weird way to write, because I'm not like really a guitar player. I can't play anything,
but you know what you want to hear,
drums, but not like guitars. So he helped me a lot with the Azure album. Yeah.
So
and to this day, Azure. Yeah.
So there's a lot of instruments involved in that album, though, dude. So are you?
Yeah.
Are you literally? Do you do that with the riffs too? Like you're like, all right, now I got violin, and you hum a violin melody into your phone and bring it to him.
Or the violin stuff didn't come until later, but that first album was pretty much just me fucking around, because I was just a singer prior, so I didn't know how to write music. So that's why it came out so weird, because it wasn't really, I was in a bad spot at that time with a lot of shit going on in my life. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty much drunk on vodka the whole time when I made it. So that's how it came out.
And I've sampled a lot of weird stuff in my life, dude, but it was a little more mature than you're saying right now, because there was a lot of great ideas.
Oh yeah. Well, I was into a lot of different music too, like industrial and like Dead Can Dance and Liebach and all that stuff. So I wanted to put everything in there and just wanted to be creative. That's and with the death metal stuff, I felt a little bit I was doing Divine Rapture forever, or I wanted to just be creative and do whatever, but it had to be angry and come out, expression, cathartic release, I guess, of whatever I was trying to do at the time, which was anger and frustration, but with no boundaries, like whatever. You want to put some techno in there, go ahead, whatever.
Yeah, I know, dude. Okay. And I love albums like that. I mean, you could talk about Bungle in the same way, where you're just you're always waiting for the next thing to happen. You never get bored. It's keeping you on the edge of your seat the whole time, and a lot of cool stuff is not on even the later Azure stuff, dude. Like the essence is still there throughout the whole discography of that band.
Yeah, it's progressed with the violins and all the saxophone and all that other stuff. But in the beginning, it was more electronic, I guess, with just me with like samples and drum machine and maracas and straws and weird stuff like that. And just
I know, dude,
trying
cool
stuff.
But that's what it is. Yeah. You're seeing like a solid growth of a seed that it was, planted.
Yeah, it's developed a little bit more. I guess it's a little bit more accessible now, I think, especially the new one I'm working on now. But
hell yeah,
it's still weird.
That's what's up, dude. And actually, at that age, even though I was into weird music, you were one of the first dudes that I met and knew personally that was experimenting with music that way too. So that's why I always look back on that album specifically as just an inspiration of, somebody that I came across in my path that showed me that he was much further along in the creative process of making something.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
know, I
I'm
had a
just a
lot of
lyrics
friends,
writer.
different kinds of friends that were into like circuit bending, and people that were into, you know, drum and bass and whatever. And you know, you just pick stuff up and as you're going along, and you know, you make it your own and whatever. So
Totally. So then, all right. So Azure's always been just your baby that you go back to no matter what you've been doing in your career, basically.
yeah, well, it's, you know, pretty much all me, where I could, you know, express, you know, everything. Like it's more personal lyrics. It's more uh, personalized than the standard death metal stuff that I'm, you know, like I do right now. I'm doing House by a Cemetery. It's all about horror, you know, 80s and 90s, 70s horror movies. And then, you know, Divine Rapture lyrics are more along the lines of personal stuff too. But then, you know, Monstrosity got into dark stuff. Vile was into darker, you know, stuff. And but I think with Azure, it's just like I have more freedom to do whatever I want to do without having to think about how's it look to the band or whatever.
Totally.
You know, as the image, you know, because all these bands, you have to have an image, you know, or a brand. You know, my brand is I don't give a fuck.
Totally.
Whatever.
And conceptually, it's different than anything you just spoke about the other bands. You know, I mean, there is darkness in Azure for sure, but I think that you touch on other subjects as well that aren't normally written about in extreme metal and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
like songs about Nikola Tesla or songs about Dr. Kevorkian that I was, you know, a big fan of back in the day. Stuff like that.
Yeah. And I that stuff permeates with me, you know, that's the stuff that I gravitate towards, and it's still to this day something that I'm glad that I, you know, came across so early in that project. And just to know you personally, I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude, I know that guy. He's got a sick brain, dude, and he fucking
glad you like it,
music.
People either love it or hate it, you know, whatever.
But that's when you're taking chances like that. Of course, you're gonna have the, you know, duality of love hate in the zeitgeist once you put it out there, you know.
Well, I think, you know, there's music that you want to party music you want to put on at a party, or you want to go to a show and pit to and put on for that reason. And there's music you want to like just have to zen out to, and you have music that's, you know, personal or whatever. It's
and stuff that makes you want to, it makes you think as you're listening to. It's kind of we listen to music in various ways for various reasons, and I like to be on my toes sometimes when I listen to music, and yeah, this is a perfect example.
But as far as like live, my favorite thing to do would be extreme death metal. Like it would be my favorite thing to do live. I don't think Azure would ever go over well live. You know, too many different instruments and too much theatrics and things like that.
Right. I would say, yeah, like the Igor aspect of a band like that, because you could kind of, it doesn't sound like Igor, but I'm saying you could find a line to Azure, and when you see an Igor show, you see what it takes to put that on the way that they want to put it on. It takes a lot, dude. So yeah, you would have to bring in multiple musicians for multiple things, and it wouldn't be, unless
it's not just like 5 dudes and you know, guitars and vocals and go, you know. It's you have to have theatrics and to make it as, you know, close to the music as you would want to show, you'd have to have all that stuff, which is super hard and costs tons of money to do and whatever. You know, you can't just get up there with sweatpants on and be like, all right, you know, work.
You have to probably start with like a stripped down version of, like, if you wanted to do it and build it up into something like what Igor was, kind of like a start it down from like the grassroots of something like more basic as far as, you know, samples and stuff like that, and just do it like from the grassroots and then build it up and then be able to afford kind of like the full experience, you know. It'd be a big process to do all that. That's basically what you're getting at.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm always so busy with all my other projects, like doing the death metal thing, doing the black metal thing. I guess my problem is I I'm always doing too much.
Yeah.
I'm doing the artwork stuff too, so I get distracted. I'm just always I'm always working on something.
Besides the artwork, is there another thing that kind of pays? I mean, are you doing working on top of it, or is that just full time now?
I work a day. I work freelance, or I do graphic design.
Oh, cool. Nice. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of your realm. So I mean, you said your art's kind of like changed from, doing like kind of spray paint effects and stuff. When did it kind of move over onto like, graphic design on the computer and stuff?
When I got into college, I guess.
Okay.
I went to like a art college, or it wasn't really a college. It was just an art school. It doesn't even exist now anymore. But yeah, because when the computers first came out, the internet and all that stuff, at first it was just airbrushing and when I was a kid, my parents, I was lucky that they, took me to karate class, and then they took me to a painting class, like try to get you as a kid to do different things or whatever.
Right.
So I did the painting class when I was a kid, and I liked it, so I kept doing the painting. And then during high school, I painted more in the art classes at school, and then come graduation time, I was always getting, I got good grades in high school, but I was always getting kicked out of class, and I was a bad kid or whatever. So when it came time to think about what you want to do for, I had no other decision but to go into art school or art. So I originally went for illustration, and then I quickly realized that you can't make money doing that, or really. So to try to go into the computers and do graphic designs, and then I started doing graphic design and messing around with Photoshop and whatever, and then that's pretty much how I got into the doing the digital art. Definitely. And then my friend, guys from Rumpelstiltskin Grinder, bought me my first Wacom tablet, because I did their Rumpelstiltskin Grinder covers, and they, as payment, they got me one of those tablets, and then from there on, then it was, airbrushing with the tablet thing.
So nice. You just had a special pen that you would be...
it's like Wacom tablet or whatever.
And is that still how you do it to this day?
Mainly, that and photo manipulation, cut and paste kind of photography. Sometimes I go out, take my own pictures. Sometimes I use stock photography,
And
like that one Grave album cover I did for Century Media. It was I think you met my roommate Sean at the time, but I took pictures of him posing with a shovel, and that was him on the cover digging the grave or whatever. And then the hands with all the worms on it, I actually went into the backyard and dug my hands with worms. It was after a rainstorm, and then took pictures of my hands with like worms and shit, and then
what album was that?
Around. Grave, it was a best of album or something.
Okay,
I don't know what year it was, but
that's sick though.
Grave best of something.
There's something I love that about graphic design, but you're still incorporating a physical element. You're bringing something out of this reality and putting it into this digital thing that you're making. I just think that's cool. It kind of still gives it an old school effect, I guess, or it's just showing the creativity of just using what you have. You're like, it's a rainstorm, dude. There's got to be worms. Let's go see if I can get a handful of worms and take a sick picture of it. Like, I love that, dude.
Well, it's like, I think that, an artist in general, they just make it work somehow. They find ways to make it work, whether it's with the music. If I, give me a bunch of weird samples and a good riff, and then, here you go, see what you can do with it. And then you try to make it work somehow. So I think that's like how it's done, really with artists, like, is they just find a way to make it work.
Yeah, you got this idea, and whatever you can do to bring that idea.
Yeah, even like painters, like people who paint traditionally, they don't just say, okay, I got this brush, I'm going to use this brush. No, I say, hey, I got this weird sponge. Let me try what happens if I do this. What happens if I take this tissue and crumple it up and, use that. So, I think it's just a matter of piecing things together and trying different things, and then whatever works. And then if it doesn't work,
I think David. I'm going to bring up David Lynch for the 100th time on the show, but I think he found a like a decomposed rat in his backyard, and he sawed it in half and glued it into one of his paintings. It's
Nice.
just finding random shit and having it spark an idea, and using it, and then seeing the final product, and you're just satisfied with the fact that you gave that idea, you know.
Yeah, I think that's like probably one of the best things about even being a musician is like, or putting it all together and seeing it come together, which, you know, you kind of have a vision in your brain, but it's never actually it never comes out to be what you think it's going to be. It just becomes its own thing. It's like its own, you know, your own little baby you just made, and it is what it is, you know. Right. You kind of have an idea of how it's going to go, and then it goes somewhere totally different, but it's still cool, you know.
It's like multiple different inspirations in the middle of it, kind of take you to different paths and changes ideas like 20 times in the middle of it. Yeah, that's awesome.
As an artist, dude, and people asking you about artwork for their albums and shit, and they have their ideas and all that stuff, what was that transition like to go from an artist that just would do whatever they want to do to now I have a specific, you know, set of, you know,
parameters,
parameters to work in? What's that like?
It's different. It's harder. You know, I prefer doing my own thing, but like sometimes when you're given ideas, sometimes that surprises you too, because you're like, I don't like the way this is turning out. Like sometimes if people are too specific about what they want, then they have a picture in their head of what they think it's going to be. But as you're creating it, you realize, oh shit, this is going to look better if I do this instead. And then, you know, so it's better if you leave things open than it is to be too tight about ideas, even with music creating and everything, I would think.
Yeah. You know?
So.
No, I agree, dude. But it's still, I'm sure you ran into some issues where you and the artists were butting heads on artwork. I'm not saying that you need to say any of those specific situations, but it is a weird thing to call upon somebody who is, even though a creative person, they're not necessarily, because working with a band you're talking about with making music, we kind of know how each other work. So it seems like you could come to a consensus easier in a situation where everybody knows each other well, and then you bring in this artist who isn't a part of the circle, and then you have all these, it needs to be like this, and that, and then how you want to do it, also just the draw of creating something makes you get these inspirational parts while you're making something. And so have you ever had a situation where you really thought that it would be better one way and they just wouldn't go for it, and you just had to put it out the way?
Well, not usually everyone is pretty happy with what I give them or whatever, but like like small things like color changes, or I thought it looked better blue than purple or whatever, things like that. Like, you know, people, you know, usually you have to just trust the person that you're asking to do the thing for you. Even if like you take your album to get, you know, mixed or mastered, you take it to somebody, you have to trust that they're going to do it in a good way, you know, or you trust them they know what they're doing or whatever.
That's actually a really good comparison, dude, because it's the same thing. You got your group of dudes that made this piece of art, then you take it to somebody else to do something with it.
Even producers, I'm sure people are like, oh, I don't like this, change this, and they say, okay, they're going to do it anyway, even if personally, as a person, you may not prefer it that way. They're the one paying for it, so they get what, you know, customers always right, so do what they want, of course,
right?
And then but you know, unless it's something that looks totally crazy, then you'd be like, man, don't do that. You know. But I wouldn't do that, but
I found that art, by the way. I found that this is one, right?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Oh, cool.
So that's my friend Sean that you met back in Philly.
Yeah.
Back when I lived there.
Did you awesome, actually? No, I was gonna say that'd be sick if you actually climbed into like a deep like crevice to take that picture.
Yeah, man. I went to the cemetery and I dug a hole and I crawled inside of it. I got kicked out by the grave
It's like
digger guy.
I'll save a bunch of
Full
time
midnight.
if I dig a hole and I don't have to do the art, dude.
There are definitely artists or photographers out there that would do some shit like that, dude.
Yeah. Just dig a hole.
Should have just convinced Anthony that you actually did. And he's
I know.
no way.
Usually, if you have a thought and it sounds crazy, it's better to do that because you're willing to do something that nobody else would do or whatever. So
Right.
I would think that's how I take it with life in general. Do the opposite of what everybody else does.
You're a big outside the box kind of guy, like especially with your music and stuff. You're talking about the Azure Emote stuff, and
I don't like following the crowd. I don't like I don't like doing that.
I was always a rebel. Same too. Yeah, I kind of, and it sucks because it gets into like other aspects of my life. Like sometimes I'm so used to being like, oh, everyone is agreeing with this. Well, I don't agree with it. Like
exactly.
it'll start going like it seeps its way into like I'll like be debating someone that I completely agree with, but they're so, or like it's kind of like a popular thing that everyone agrees with, and I'll just be like, I'm just gonna debate them just because for
just
no fucking
be,
reason,
just to be rebellious. Yep.
Exactly.
It still
seeps in.
You're a default devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But even so, like there's certain specifics where you just like a band like a Stratosphere, like you don't know who a Stratosphere is. Well, I do. That feeling of like it's mine. That it kind of is what we're looking for when we want to be rebellious like that.
It's good to challenge people, everybody. When they get into their cliques of ways of thinking, even with music, if you do that, then you're just going to be cookie cutter the whole time. And, some people like that, I guess, if that's what you're going for. But if you're trying to be creative or, do something a little bit more exciting,
mix it up.
There's that OSDM phenomena, it is just doing cookie cutter shit from the early 90s bands.
Yeah, some of it's pretty killer though.
I know.
I mean, some of these bands, wow, man, I can't even tell. That sounds like it's right out of the 90s, and it's like awesome. So like, it does. That's awesome too, though. So
if there's, I
guess that's
new, there's new SDM, there should be OSDM. Like there should be all of it, like
new metal, new.
Oh no,
metal.
No, death metal, newest death metal, new school, whatever. I don't know, but like,
yeah.
I think there's like different levels. Like there's like genuine, like, hey man, like, hey, these guys are probably cool guys. Like, the nicest side, like they're probably great dudes, or they probably really worked on this, but I really don't like this. Like, it just does not speak to me artistically. And then there's people like trolling on the internet. Like, there's like all extremes of like hating on shit. But like, I think it's a natural thing for all of us to just be like, I don't like that, or I love that. And then like, we kind of have this variety. It makes more things more like interesting. Like, it's like, like we naturally like or don't like stuff. Like, it's really simple.
And I think that what's cool about, because I brought it up, sounding like I was bringing it up as a negative thing, but the OSDM thing doesn't really hit me too hard. I haven't really exposed myself to enough of it, but I think that it's cool that there's a nostalgia that's strong enough to where young kids want to recreate the 90s sound. I think that is cool. Our generation's music, and this sounds pretentious now that I'm saying it like this, but our generation's music, there's such a prominent energy and nostalgia effect that kids want to play it still today that way.
Yeah, I like how people are wanting to go back to the analog days or not record digitally, and they want to, try to do the whole one take thing, which bands used to do back in the day. You just had one take and do it right, or do it again and do it again until you miss it. You don't just cut paste like now everyone does digital, cut paste, and
I agree.
That's what, I like. That's why I love the thrash first started, was like the first kind of like everyone starting to, the kids doing like Warbringer and bands like that we were seeing pop up, and they were like doing really well, and they're fucking 21, 22, and they're just like wearing the high top fucking white Reeboks or whatever, got the tight jeans, and they got the full style. And like we toured with Warbringer, and probably when they were starting to pop off, and they lived it. It was like that was their whole that was like they were born in the wrong generation kind of people. It wasn't even like didn't even feel like they were LARPing at all, like trying to like role play something. They were like literally felt like they were from the 80s and we had just met up with them. Like
they just came in
awesome.
The DeLorean, dude.
Yeah, me and my brother always would say that I think we were born like a generation late. Like it's like everything that we're all about is like generation prior, like 80s.
How old are you, Mike?
I'm not going to tell you.
All right. Well, I'm going to be turning 40 in October, and I have that same feeling. I have a feeling that I just missed the boat a little bit on the stuff that I love, you know?
Yeah. Or, or if you had been born a generation earlier doing the same creative things you're doing now, maybe things would be bigger than what they are because, you're a little bit, or I don't know.
I agree. Yeah. I think you could take it back to the group of us that were on bloodletting and how hungry we were, how in the pocket we were, and if you could go back 10 years earlier with that same drive, what would it be? I agree with
totally.
You.
Yeah.
I think that all of us, every single person on that tour basically went on to do some cool shit, right? We all eventually from that point furthered our careers with working with other projects and shit like that. I mean, we haven't even gotten further in your timeline right now. I was going to say, so when you played with Monstrosity in Vile, was that your first time like hooking up with those dudes, getting in with them, and they kind of kept you on the back burner as a vocalist after that?
Well, that 2006, or shit, was it? No, it was 2000.
Well,
yeah, whatever.
2006
was Gutting Europe tour was the first tour that I did, or with Vile anyway. That was the first Vile tour.
What a wild thing to go to Europe for your first
tour. I was like recording with Vile demo tracks, and I did Deafening Silence demo and Suicide Warfare demo song, which they all got lost in the time. But I was talking with Vile and Colin for I think a year or two prior or something like that, and demoing out things, and then we got together with my brother and went to Europe with Vile, and then Monstrosity was headlining at that time. Was that a piece of cheese in the corner there? What was that?
Fuck around.
That's an inside joke with it's inside joke with the person you're talking about. A person you're talking
about. But yeah, so then when you're on a tour with somebody for 33 days straight, you get to know them. So of course, I became friends with Monstrosity and whatever, and then I think it was actually during that tour with you guys, the Bloodletting tour, or shortly after that tour, we came back home because we did, a month in Europe, came back did a month with you guys and a month and a half or whatever. And then I got a call from Lee, and then Lee was like, "Hey man, we got this album ready to go." And that's when I joined Monstrosity. So that was 2007 is, I think it was January 2007 when I went down to Florida at Moore Sound and recorded the Spiritual Apocalypse.
Weird, dude. Yeah. That's so crazy how quick that happened after that,
Yeah, so it was like bam, 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 that whole period of
how was it recording?
2005 through 2007. It was like,
How was it recording at Moore Sound?
It's awesome. Yeah. I think they're going back to Moore Sound for their new album they're making, but so nice. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Yeah,
and
that was like the original. That was at the original place before they moved or whatever. So, again, I wish I would have taken more pictures. I at the time back in the day, I was never a picture guy. Really, like,
did you feel the energy while you were there at all?
Yeah, I took pictures in front of the sign, or I think no, I did. I wanted to, I didn't. Stupid.
Either way,
I bought a T-shirt though, so I think I have a T-shirt of the original Moore Sound thing. But yeah, it was cool. And they
in the booth, and you're thinking, how many other fucking sick vocalists have been in this booth?
Oh yeah. That was surreal. Yeah. And Lee had the guy, what's his name from Atheist, came out and hung out and stuff.
Kelly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Kelly's sick, dude. Kelly's been on the show a couple of times. We love Kelly.
Yeah, he's cool. It was a fun time, 2007. And then we recorded that album, and then right after that, flew down to Mexico for a festival with Cal Decapitation, Marduk, and Cethereal. So but that was fun. So that was like, bam, bam, right after Bloodletting. And then after that, full stream into Monstrosity. And I was still doing Vile. So I was touring with both bands for a couple,
Damn, nice.
So that was rough though too.
Yeah, I forgot to say
bam, bam, doing Vile, then I'd go do a tour of Monstrosity, then Vile.
Fuck.
I forgot to say too, we used to say this all the time back in the Bloodletting tour, but we were just like, oh yeah, that dude Mike sings for Vile is like the sickest singer we've like ever heard.
Yeah, you were,
we
just like
fucking
front man, dude.
Like,
even at that young age, we were all fucking like, dude, look at this guy every night. I think that's what you do on any tour, really. You're just watching every other band and making sure that you stay on, you stay at that level, or try and, you know.
I think we were all trying to compete with each other too. So we like inspire each other. I'd see you guys like, oh shit, we gotta outshow them, and then the same thing would happen with everybody else, and
that camaraderie. It's like a healthy,
but it's a friendship, camaraderie. Yeah.
And
I remember watching,
good.
I remember watching Mike Hamilton backstage, and dude, every time he'd go on with like the Ashes song, whatever that first song was,
Reduced Ashes.
Reduced Ashes, dude. Once that came on every night, I was like, what?
And every crowd would go crazy for the
I remember steam rising off his head because he'd be sweating so much, and then just like the steam was like, oh, it's so evil.
It looks like he's on fire. Dude, do you remember actually funny tour story that we didn't bring up? Do you remember there was one show where this like dude just bought it for his friends, and it was like it was
Texas. It was Lubbock.
It was Texas. Yeah, Lubbock, Texas. There's like fucking there's like 5 people. It was just his buddies that he's like, I just wanted to see the tour package.
I don't know, just bought more than 5 people, but it definitely wasn't.
It was like 11. Yeah.
20.
He bought all the tickets, you mean, or whatever, or what?
No, he paid for the package. He just paid for everything. So we were getting paid from him.
Entertainment of a party, basically. That's what it was.
We got hired to play a dinner party,
and
we were like signing
we signed more shit than we did for the rest of the tour, basically.
We signed like 50 things each.
I'm sure he doesn't regret it at all.
It was sick.
Great time, great tours, and
I remember just
watching KC here play every night on drums, and I remember I'd always point out his tongue because he'd do that tongue thing. Like, oh shit, he's doing the tongue. He's getting harder.
Once the tongue comes out, fucking Casey's in the pocket. Dude.
Michael Jordan.
Well, do that. You should feel good about it because MJ.
That's a trademark. Oh shit! Now shit's getting serious. Now he's got the tongue out.
It's all about these like unconscious twitch things that we do that are just like
when you're pushing yourself. Yeah,
you're just kind of.
There was I remember learning like the good. Sorry, we're lagging.
It's all good. It's probably me because my shit kind of started up slow. I was just saying I used to bite the inside of my cheek almost every set, dude. I had a sore in the side of my mouth that whole fucking tour, dude.
Damn, you didn't notice it until you got it, probably, right? You didn't actually like go until you started like licking it. You're like, I'm doing that like on the stage.
Yeah, but because of all the adrenaline. Yeah, totally, dude.
My thing was like the head spins. I would do the head spins, but every time I do that, my beard would brush burn my neck. So I'd have these brush burns here from home. I remember that it always sucked.
Anthony, I remember you saying between like your big toe and the next toe, you had this like burn from the sandals.
Oh, from my sandals, dude. No, dude, my sandals. They're always comfortable, dude. I'll be wearing them at Texas Domination Fest, September.
Oh, you're gonna do it for real, yeah.
September or whatever it is, with whoever bands. But
I'm so bad. Sorry, Miguel.
No, but I remember one thing sitting with Eric and Mike at the merch booth at Lubbock, and I remember there was an opening band, and they were tuning. It might have been, I forget. They were tuning on stage, going, and they were just like, giving all the tips. They were like, rule number 1: never tune on stage like that. Like, never do that. They were like pointing it out, going like, they were like telling like giving me like the breakdown of what not to do. Because I'm just sometimes I would just be like do, like do it all quick, and I would just be like no, I wouldn't think about it. But it is kind of like it looks pretty like rookie-ish to be like 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 on unless you could do it like super quickly. But he was just given all the. I remember that always stuck with me for that show. That's like the number one memory. He's like, let's see what they're doing. Don't do that. That's rookie shit. Don't do that.
I think if you check and it's in tune, that's actually sick pro shit though. You're like, fuck yeah, my shit's already ready, dude.
Just yeah. I mean, after each song though, they just be like and it's like it just sounds kind of like it just kills the vibe, of like everyone was all hyped up, and then all of a sudden they're hearing you just like work on your tuning. It's like just mute it and tune it now. That became a lesson. I was like, fuck, I've done that before. I'm not going to admit it. Yeah, John Stamos has done it. Like, no, but that was a classic. I remember there was another thing that night with someone drunk outside and passed out under a car or something. I don't know. Just my memory is kind of maybe making shit up. But, you're getting the promotion. Yeah, that was definitely, there was like 11 people there, and that was kind of a just buying. We almost did that for Cynic. Me and Trevor were talking about like Cynic was trying to play in Santa Cruz, and they're like, we hit them up and they couldn't find a venue, and we're trying to get a promoter, and we're like, how much does it cost? Like, we might just like pitch on it and just have you play in our backyard and just watch Cynic in our backyard. But it's gone through my head before with certain bands where I'm just like, fuck, dude, because they were going from like like LA to like fucking Portland or something. I'm like, do you want to like make a little gas money on the way and like, get up there easier? But
well, like I say, dude, San Francisco used to be the spot. It's not the spot to stop anymore, Yeah.
A lot of old school death metal bands are still stopping there. Like I saw Deicides going there, like all those like older bands. I still see them stopping there. It's like
and that those tours can still make it through, but like an underground tour like the Bloodletting tour, it would have a harder time hitting San Francisco now.
Yeah, it'd be way better than SAC.
It would be SAC or even South Bay, maybe. But they're looking for that one, spot between getting up through California. Or
so you're saying that Jumping Turtle doesn't exist anymore? Did you tell me that? No. When did that shut down?
I don't know.
Wasn't it COVID?
I think when I think it was before that. I think it was before that. I think there was like probably like underage drinking going on or something weird. Something they got shut down. I'm pretty sure because like when I moved back 2015 to San Diego, I think it was already gone. But maybe I'm totally wrong. But that's my memory.
You think about Jumping Turtle and that's the one with the it's like a longer room, right? And the stage is the space between the stage and the people is kind of
it's in San Marcos,
narrowed,
California.
Yeah, it's right near the beach. So we'd walk to the beach or whatever, and there was like a little taco restaurant. I remember eating that next door or something.
Dude, San Diego Mexican food is still the best, dude.
Damn, they closed in 2010.
2010.
Wow.
I was right.
Yeah, because when they didn't close, they continued as a restaurant, but they got a cease and desist for music and shit from the city.
Too loud.
So yeah, I remember it being kind of like, what's that?
No, I was just gonna say, what's the other place that the power kept on going out on us?
Oh,
no, that's the Double Duty. That was SoCal, but I'm thinking of a Double Duty. Never mind.
Yeah, I remember there was a place where I don't know. I mixed up so many fucking of those shows. I was just looking at the list of Morrisound too of what's recorded there.
Oh,
it's fucking insane, dude.
Where did Mike Marinkovich get taken down by?
Oh yeah, that was the
Holy Gully.
The Holy Gully, dude. That was
LA.
That was a different. That was a mini tour.
Different tour. Different tour.
Yeah.
To Gathering of the Sick or something.
Yeah, like now that I know Murray was there.
All the Death albums were recorded there? At Morrisound? Sorry.
Dude, no.
I'm just crazy, man.
Oh, maybe. Classic. Maybe that full albums, but they were recording other shit. They actually were recording shit in California. Some of those demos, maybe the Mantis demos were somewhere near Antioch.
Like insane like lists, like Focus.
Wasn't Pearson with them recorded there, but it was a different year. It wasn't
all these Deicides.
Yeah, there's a book that just came out that like has like interviews with all the bands talking about all the albums that they made at More Sound. It's pretty killer.
So shout out to Jordan Morella.
Devastation and
Jordan's the one who turned me onto that book. I'm still haven't bought it, but Jordan was telling me buy this book, dude, and I really want it now.
Yeah,
Seven Mary 3. Isn't that the band that goes like cumbersome? I don't know. Is that cumbersome?
Oh yeah, dude, I think so.
This randomly 7 Mary 3 in there. It's like Morbid Angel, Deicide, 7 Mary 3. Fucking 6
They're pretty metal, dude.
It was kind of like some of those bands back in the day. Like there was what Goo Goo Dolls was signed to Metal Blade, and wasn't Blur or something signed to Metal Blade or something. One of those like those bands that used to be like the
Woohoo band.
Like, yeah,
that was that Blur. Okay,
yeah, I think one of those bands used to be a metal band or something, and that or not Filter, but yeah, that just went from like Metal Blade to like fucking top of the charts, like fucking singing like. Oh yeah, cute stuff. Yeah,
think if you're the owner of Metal Blade, and then what's his name, Brian, and you gain this cult following to where it's now a business. Why not sign a couple of bands that might break out to really help fund the rest of the?
Yeah, be way less cumbersome. That's for sure. What? Oh, sorry.
No, but it makes sense. You want to have like one or two groups that are actually popular, and it would trickle down to the rest of the bands on the label. This is me talking like I'm a label rep, and we all hate record labels.
I think for me with the OSDM stuff is I kind of feel like when I think of a lot of OSDM stuff, it's like actually the old school guys doing like or Inhumane Condition or something, or like Solstice putting another album out or something.
Or Gruesome.
Like it's not, Gruesome. The guys
Gruesome is like my first introduction to OSDM.
Yeah,
playing old school style.
But they're like straight. Well, yeah, or like I don't know. I'm just saying like there are young kids doing the olds, but I feel like a lot of it's like it's not just that. It's like and I don't know. There's such a whole thing about the recording stuff now too. Like I'm curious what you think about that, Mike. Like so many schools of thought now where it's like if your album isn't like gridded and edited and perfect and like super crazy production recording, people just laugh at it, and it's just like, what happened, like, or so I don't know. It's like there's like this, and then some people are like going the opposite direction, and then I don't know. What do you feel about that? All that stuff, man. Like just
everybody's different. Everybody likes different stuff. Some people like the gritty, sound production. Some people like the really, good production, but
that's what I liked about that
More Sound's always got really good production, especially with the drums and the guitars and all that. So More Sound's always really good.
So
I think we were trying to go there for the Hypoxia album, the new one, but then we ended up going with this guy Noah, and it came out epic. So I'm really proud of the new Hypoxia album. As far as
you're another one of those guys that we just have. There's such a long list of bands that you're involved in, dude.
Yeah, so much good stuff,
and it's great stuff. It's all you
brought up old school death metal, and I think Hypoxia fits into that niche of like newer bands that sound old school, or So if you listen to the new album, it kind of could be a '90s death metal band, really.
And
it's not too tech, it's not, it's in the pocket.
Is the recording kind of trying to do the same thing?
I don't know if it was trying to do that. It just sounds good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's, I'm usually not happy with any of the albums that I'm on. I'm kind of perfectionist and don't usually once it comes out, I don't like it. And I'm like, I never listen to it again. I listen to it like once or twice and that's it.
I don't think we're perfectionists, but I share that with you, dude. And I don't think we're perfectionists. I think that we're supposed to never be satisfied, so we just keep going.
Yeah, probably. So I'm never satisfied. I mean, except for I like the first Monstrosity Spiritual Apocalypse, but of course that was more sound. I like the new Hypoxia album; sounds good. And
but if you were fully satisfied, do you think you would keep going? You know?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to try to get that perfection every time. So you're bound to have an album that's just like
And we are also listeners outside of how you feel about your art. And I think whenever I listen to your voice and the range of your voice, I always am fully impressed, and it makes me feel like I need to fucking start growling more and be the growler that bangs my head into
the growler. Yeah. That was my name as a high school kid or whatever, the growler.
Yeah. No, I know. That's what I was just doing a callback. But that's really how I feel when I listen to you. I think that you there's a group of vocalists that I call power growlers. I didn't term it, somebody else did, and I'm just like, yeah, like a Frank Mullen or a Dusty Boisjoli or you or me. We have this certain way of projecting our vocals. You're probably loud as fuck in the studio. If I was in the room with you, you're not up on the mic with it turned up super loud and doing that at a low volume. I think that you're actually projecting that sound, and it's gonna scare me if I'm in there without earplugs, you know. And I Corpse Grinder, same thing. He's another. You see him on stage and his mic's this far away from his mouth, and he's louder than everything else on stage. And that type of growling, to me, it takes a lot, dude. And I think that every time that I hear your voice, I just know that you're always on it, dude. And taking, a positive criticism as somebody who is a perfectionist, you're probably just saying, whatever, I'm just listening to this guy fucking talk about me and whatever. But I'm saying that you are one of the top tier vocalists for me when I listen to you.
Thanks, dude. That's appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it was crazy how Colin like procured like JJU and then Erland. Like you guys were just like such a solid group, like you guys were, to me, just far more advanced players. Colin's kind of like in the pocket, like rhythm kind of player, and he just found like these fucking beasts to come in and like to fill the void around. It's kind of like what reminds me a little bit of like for a while what Vital Remains was doing, just like getting these like monsters around you. It's just like you get this like fucking I mean, JJ's solos were fucking great. I remember him just like being so stoked on his solos, and then Erland's like one of the best in the world at bass.
I like that lineup a lot, just also because it was fun to play with my brother again. Because like I said, back in Divine Rapture, that's when we were, the Hrubovcak brothers who were on stage all the time, Milwaukee Metal Fest and doing that. And then when Vile came, and we were like, oh, we're playing in the band together again. So that was fun.
Yeah, dude.
And on my right, and when he left, it was like, oh, you're not on my right anymore. It felt weird,
Shout out to JJ, dude, another dude that I miss and I want to talk to. I'd love to get him on the show if you could help us out, dude. Because
he was in Haiti Eternal for a while, right?
Yeah, he's still writing with Eric. I mean, Eric's busy with Cannibal and whatever, but they're still writing.
He's still in Haiti Eternal.
So, they say that he's working on a new album, but he's so busy now, it's going to be a while.
That's insane. I don't know why I just assumed like time goes. I'm like, how? That's crazy. Like how long he's.
Well, I looked it up. It's 2018 was the last time they did something, so it's been 6 years since they did something. So
seems like forever ago.
Think about who came out of that lineup, dude. We got Erland, who ended up being in Spawn, ended up doing Igor and all the other crazy shit.
Oh, that's right.
He did. And then you with fucking Monstrosity, JJ, Hate Eternal. We were a farm team, dude. We were a farm team that were pulled up to the big leagues. Most of us got pulled up to the big leagues, and
Anthony had 5 kids, and that's where
I ended up making more humans that hopefully they get pulled up to the actual big leagues.
The big leagues, dude.
How many kids do you have now, dude?
3. They always exaggerate it. 3 kids, dude.
I was gonna say
Two boys.
I was like, what?
2 boys and a girl. Already dealing with the teenager. Yep.
Wow.
I know, dude. It's wild.
It's funny when you say big league too.
Dude, it's crazy.
When you say big league, it cracks me up because it's like, cool. Did you make you're up to like 4,000 a year?
Yeah.
Big league. It's like, and you got to tour constantly.
Joel and I did the big leagues for a little while. It was,
big leagues. So instead of getting drink tickets and a pizza, you get a deli platter and
a fruit salad.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. It's awesome when you're like, when getting a motel is like a luxury, you're like, no way. I get to shower.
We can afford a hotel.
Dude, remember that? It was on the bloodletting tour. We stayed at some hotel. We spent forever trying to find one because they were all booked up and we couldn't find one. And they had one room left and we all stayed in the one room. I remember I slept on the bathroom floor.
Oh, really?
Or was I in the tub? I think I might have slept in the tub.
You slept in the tub because I slept on the bathroom floor. I slept underneath the sink. It was underneath the sink.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so you were underneath the sink and I was in the tub. And then we had to get out, stepping on everybody to get out of there.
It was crazy, dude. But that's how you make it work, dude. And actually, now that we bring this up, it's fun to say that. It's fun to say that we did that. Even though
I remember with Colin though too, we pull over at some random church and there's a field, and we were just slept in the field. Yeah. And then there was another time right before we went into Canada, we stayed at the hotel and they were all sold out. So they should either sleep in the minivan like this, or just go out and sleep on the floor. So I slept in the pavement. And that was that. It was raining. I remember it was trickling rain on me, and I was like, whatever.
Nice.
It's better than the band.
Joel already mentioned Nights in Columbus. We ran out of money. We didn't have a hotel that night, dude.
Yeah.
And so we just decided to drive straight through or whatever. I don't know what was going on. If we didn't have the hotel that night or the night before, either way, we showed up and we were early like we were supposed to be and nothing else to do. So we just got $5 passes to the pool it was literally across the street. It was a public pool. So we fucking had a blast at the pool, took a shower, and then slept under a tree in front of the place we were playing that
the
night,
venue.
It was just
killer.
Like,
that's pretty smart. $5 shower. That's epic.
It actually was. And not only $5 shower, but $5 to have a little fucking fun too, dude. Yeah. They had a diving board and shit. We were doing crazy shit off the diving board. Those nowadays,
if we got that, we'd be like, fuck this, I'm going home.
No, I'd still be diving off that diving board, dude.
It's like, we're not sleeping under a fucking tree, dude. I'm fucking 40. We're not doing that. Like, we're fucking 20, 21. We're like, or mid 20s or something. We're just like, fuck it, dude. It's fucking, this is the way to do it. You know, we're getting started. We got to pay the price.
But it was a public shower, and we all took a shower together, and I kept on threatening you guys with me taking my shorts off completely, and everybody was like, stop, dude. No, dude, don't do it. And I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that was we were born in a different generation. We didn't like, you always hear stories about like people in high school. It's like, all right, after gym, you guys just got naked and jumped in the shower. Like that's a nightmare that never happened for us. That was never a thing in my generation. That was like,
and then suddenly we all felt stupid for not having sandals.
Yeah, I was rocking them, dude. Like I was threatening to only wear sandals in front of you guys, dude, and you guys wouldn't let me.
Yeah, you know, it's like truck stop showers, everything. You gotta have sandals, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Truck stop,
the athlete's
showers. So we're trying to take showers, and we're like, oh, these jokes are they're not funny anymore. Fuck that.
I know that. Yeah, I need those.
So I think a pool shower is not quite as bad as a truck stop shower usually.
I don't know what's worse. What's worse, a dirty truck stop shower or a fucking stall that has no door? Dealt with both of them. What's worse, dude? Taking a shit when somebody's gonna walk in on you, or showering in a dirty fucking shower?
Shower in a dirty shower with sandals on.
No, I said what's worse.
What's worse?
Yeah, what's worse? Taking a shit when somebody might walk in on you, or showering in a dirty fucking truck.
Yeah,
stop
taking a
shower.
shit when I mean, depends on how bad you have to go. If you have to really go, then it doesn't fucking matter, and everyone just get the fuck out of my way. It's coming, or it's gonna go over the floor. So I'm like, there's a choice. There's the hole in the ground or the floor. I would choose the hole in the ground. But I mean, actually, it's funny. Someone brought up the Penny Arcade, Underground Noise webzine brought it up, where there was a time where we used to go to. I mean, the girls' bathrooms, show up to the venue, shit in the girls' bathrooms because of the clean ones, and there's no one in there. That's the move. And then I remember going in there. It still haunts me to this day. Well, it doesn't really haunt me. It's just funny. But I remember like going to go reach for the toilet paper, and I'm like fucking fiddling with it. I'm like, why is there a bottom on this? And I keep like pulling, and then it opens, and it's just like probably 50 bloody tampons just fall out and hit my hand.
Oh, you got the discard pile, dude.
I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. So I was like, what the I didn't know what it was when I first saw it. I was like, what the fuck is in there? And like a bunch of these little pieces of like white cotton that are like black at the end. Just like
oh, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, the girls' bathroom was always the bathroom to go to because they always had toilet paper. The men's had toilet paper. And
they needed it way more. I mean, that was like their number one like thing. Like, because we would figure it out, go to the fucking rip out the paper towels if we needed to. Like, girls are not doing that shit.
Dude, where was this fucking receptacle located? Is it in the stall?
It was in the stall. Like, so there was a toilet paper on one side and there was a receptacle on the other side. So I was trying to, and it's locked on the bottom. But I was pulling, like trying to get. I was like, it's got to fucking any of my toilet paper. I didn't even notice it was over here, and it just opened and they all just. And it was yeah, like I said, I didn't know what it was until like I looked at them on the ground. I was like, oh, like,
that's
had to all put it together.
It wasn't locked correctly then. Yeah,
yeah. Penny Arcade,
biohazard thing just open. Yeah,
yeah, I know, right? With
Shout
no
out
bag.
To the bathroom cleaners of all these places that have those, dude. That's crazy. You got to open up a thing to just pop out a bunch of bloody tampons, dude. That's fucking wild. I thought you flushed them. I thought they flushed them.
I think they like fuck up. Yeah,
clog the toilet if you do that.
Yeah,
I guess it would dissolve in them if it's dissolvable in the sewage.
Yeah, they haven't figured it out yet. I feel like the wet wipes and the tampons, they need to figure out like how to make those like flushable. You know, because I remember
this conversation really took time here.
Casey left. We're like still going on with it.
Like,
Mike, this is what we call the weeds, dude.
We're in the weeds right now.
Tampon weeds, and I'm sorry if we're in here. We'll cut ourselves out. Get the machetes out. All right.
Yeah.
So.
Next band.
Monstrosity, how long did it go for during that? And did you pick up any other new projects during that?
Well, I did, Vile and Monstrosity at the same time for a while. And then I actually did Abraxas with my friend Makoto from Japan.
Oh, Makoto.
That came out around that same time.
He was in Hate Eternal for a while, right?
He also played bass for Hate Eternal. I think.
Yeah, I toured with him. Yeah, no, I love that guy. That guy's awesome.
So I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and then I was doing Monstrosity all the time. And then 2020 happened, and then I think I left Monstrosity in 2021, and then I started doing this project with Roga Johansson from Sweden for the Swedish death metal project called House by the Cemetery, and I did 2 albums with that. And then another project, Astrofight, that he was on.
Getting ready for House by a Cemetery. So you obviously have a love for gory films, right?
Yeah, grew up with metal and horror flicks, of course. Yeah, remember going to the, VHS tape mom and pop shops and renting your, 2 videos and going to the basement and with all the buddies in high school and watching horror flicks and laughing our asses off.
Yeah, there was a funny there was like a comedic element that we all watched together for laughing at horror films. Some people would look at us as crazy people, but it really was like
I love B horror movies too, like this cheesier and stupider, like there's a thin line where it's like it's bad enough to be awesome, but then there's times where it's really bad and you can tell because the filmography's bad or whatever, but I like bad movies that are awesome, which is lots of,
like trauma style.
80s. Oh yeah, well Yeah, some are bad and some are good. So
Yeah,
my
favorite
Trauma is Toxic Avenger 4 or 3. Yeah, 4. 4.
It was their comeback after a while, right? You're talking about the most recent one.
Well, out of all the Toxies, the first one, of course, is epic because it's classic. 2 and 3 are meh, and then 4 is epically off the wall. Really good. It's got Ron Jeremy in it. It's like really good. But most people would probably say it's bad, but I love it.
Trauma,
it's so not PC, it wouldn't fly today.
Exactly, dude. That I watch it and I'm like, ooh, yeah, no, I can't ever pitch this to anybody younger than me. Ever. There's like within the first couple scenes, you're just like, most people today would be out.
Terra Firma, that was the one with them.
Terra Firma with Ron Jeremy as well.
Kabuki Man.
Ron Jeremy is in a few of them. My uncle worked on Class of Nukem High 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
my Humanoid Meltdown.
And he was also in American History X, which was wild. I just rewatched it and I'm like, oh dude, there's my uncle right there.
What was he in that movie?
He's one of the skinheads. So what's the main character's name?
He's really popular.
Damn it.
I can't think of it.
He is
There's
so
him and the
popular.
guy from Terminator 2 kid, and then
man,
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
Yeah, Edward Norton. God, man, why should I bring this up if I don't even have that reference? So I've watched the movie so many times in my life too. It's when he first meets the Peckerwoods in jail and he's sitting down. It's so funny. I shaved my head and I'm like, my uncle was one of the skinheads, but he really was. He goes to sit down. And he's one of the first guys that shakes his hand. My uncle actually gets pushed to the side a little bit, like get down, so he could sit right here, But it was so funny.
His last name Trapani?
No.
What's his last name?
Kirkland.
Word. I'll look for it.
Yeah. His first name's Kirk, by the way, too. Kirk Kirkland. Yeah. All right. Here we are again in the woods. Weeds. Weeds, dude.
We're in the woods.
So you were talking about the horror films and and dude.
There's a song I wrote called "Beware of the Woods" that was on the new House by a Cemetery album. That is just made me think of that when you're talking about the woods, but it's pretty killer.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I love all the old 70s, Fulci and then zombies and grew up on Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead and all that stuff. So horror is ingrained in me as well as metal.
There's a we had.
I got a huge collection downstairs of DVDs, VHS tapes, and whatever.
Have you seen the Retaliators?
Retaliators?
Yeah, it's a newer. It goes along with what we're talking about with the OSDM, trying to recreate the older stuff. The Retaliators, dude. It's the Gear brothers, our homie and bandmate and best friend brother Kerry Gear. His brothers wrote the screenplay to the movie The Retaliators, and it hits you in the Evil Dead feels.
Cool. So I'll have to check it out. Put that on my watch list. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's Amazon Prime, so sick. The Retaliators, dude. And if you're listening to this, go check out that episode because it was a very fun one, and it's
we had them on,
taken out of the music realm, and actually we still talked about music, but we're talking to screenplay writers in that episode.
I was in a zombie flick once that never came out, or I went to New Jersey to film it with my friend Ryan, and it was a lot of fun. We got pretty messed up, and I wish it would have came out because it was a lot of fun going upstairs and then getting but one of those things that never happens. That's one of the things that sucks too about being a musician is doing things that never come out, and you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. So, but that was the one time I was, oh, you want to be a zombie? Hell yeah, I want to be a zombie. And then
So were you already a zombie in makeup, or did you get chomped and become a zombie?
I was already a zombie, and they put up makeup on us. We came out of the woods and whatever, and followed these people up some stairs, and you know, when I was a kid, my friends used to make fake zombie. We had, you know, little VHS camcorders, and we go into the woods and a little lake there. We'd get in the lake and put Halloween masks on and crawl out and like film that. We'd make little home videos of zombie flicks and stuff.
In the scene of the movie that it didn't come out, did you get to chomp anybody, munch anybody?
Not in that one, no. In the one we made with my friends, I did, and I bit him for real, and he screamed, like, because it hurt, like for real.
For real.
He was so mad at me, but it made for the scene, and it was funny.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I was just in character, dude.
Yeah, it made him act like he was hurt because he was hurt. That sucks to like for them to put out like there's so many of those movies where they do the whole production and everything. It's like it's not coming out after all that money and work. Like it's like just not releasing it. It's like that's insane, dude. You had to go pee. But yeah, so we had someone bring up. So it's ICE is a band. What's that acronym again?
Imperial Crystalline Entombment.
Okay.
But yeah, ICE is a mystery band. So I'm going to keep it that way. I'm not talking about that band.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Soggy1001. That's cool. So I wanted to ask you something else. So I mean, with your vocals, I mean, how often do you? Because you have such a range of vocals. Have you ever done anything outside of extreme? Have you ever done anything like clean? Because I know that's kind of like a lot of the old school metalheads are not really that down with it. I'm super down with it, but I mean, is that something that you've ventured into?
I did some clean vocals on the Azure stuff, and I did a friend of mine, Lawrence's creation. I did some clean vocals tracks on that, like gothy male vocals or whatever. That's cool. But nothing that, you know. Oh, Divine Rapture, I did clean too. I did some cleans on Divine Rapture. Nice. Spirit Storm Serenade was I did clean vocals. I don't really like my clean vocals though, so I won't do them anymore.
Did you practice or take any lessons for them, or just worked on it at home and then just did it?
I was never really taught anything musically. I mean, my parents were musicians, and my brother was a musician, so I grew up around music. And my parents were both music teachers, so they would always have tons of instruments around. So I'd always just play around with whatever they had, drums and saxophone and trumpet and whatever that they would have laying around for teaching. And but the one thing that I think kind of stirred my musical interest was in high school. Remember when stomp was a thing and everyone goes around and start one note and then everybody follows in, does something else. So but in high school we would do the stomp thing, and then we'd be getting yelled at because we're supposed to go to class, but we'd be doing stomp in the hallways with the banging on the walls. We'd actually flip desks over and smash the desks and stuff. And that was really a lot of fun. And we'd be in this big dome in the high school that it would echo. So we would be singing along whilst doing the stomp stuff. And that was a lot of fun, and it was creative. So I think that I kind of put a little bit of that into my Azure stuff too, which is just doing random beats and then building on those beats. And I think that, contributed a little bit to the music stuff.
Do you think that the fact that, because you talked about how your parents were, because that's something we skipped over, that your parents were like music teachers and stuff, and they had every instrument around and you didn't pick it up. Do you think that's part of like your fuck that, dude, I'm a rebel? And
yeah. My dad tried to get me to, my mom tried to get me to play piano. Dad tried to get me to play saxophone, which I did for like a week, and I was like, no. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. My brother took to that stuff more. He actually played drums with my dad, and my dad was in a cover band, which when we were young, and then my brother helped play drums for it, and then he would do. My dad was also a wedding DJ, so he would do all musical stuff. So
awesome. So back,
I know he was trying to get me to do the wedding DJ stuff too, but. I don't know anything about modern music, so I just can't wrap my head around that. Well,
now you got Spotify.
Yeah, I don't even use Spotify. I don't know. what it is.
You're
Really, I know what it is, but I went there once and I was like, nah, never mind.
yeah. I can see you're a big physical collector from what I see behind you.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
like it, tangible things. I like the old way of sitting on your bed and reading cassette tapes, and you get more into it, and then vinyls and.
It's a very common thing.
It's a much more better experience than everyone puts things on stream, or not streams, but loops and different shuffles. So you hear one song and then another song. That's not how the artist meant that album to be. It's a story. Like, even try listening to King Diamond like on a shuffle. You have to start the story, read
like
along to it, and finish the story.
Yeah.
That's my way of still listening today, dude, and that's why listening to Azure, I made sure that I didn't start another album until not today, this week. That because I will say I didn't really listen to much Monstrosity. I didn't listen to much Vile. I was listening to Azure, dude. That's
Cool.
the one that I really go back to with you, and from front to back each album.
That's what I'm focusing on right now is the new Azure album. So I'm like, we're done the tracking, and then now into the mixing part, which is also going to take a while. But
for someone getting into the band Azure, what would you recommend, like, an album they start with? Because is there 4?
The new one would be the 4th, so there's 3 now. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a hard one because they're all so different. Most people, I don't know what most people would be into, really.
I would say start from the beginning and work your way up, dude.
Because most people like that first one, but it's so different and chaotic, and I guess Igor fans would like the first one, right? And then later on, I got more, Chronicles.
The Chronicles of Aging Mammal.
Yeah. That's what we're all doing.
Forever since I've heard this. I'm listening to it in the background right now. It's awesome.
I mean, that perfectly shows that it is you right there. It's the Chronicles of you. You're the aging mammal.
Yeah.
That's such a rad cover. I love it.
I wish I brought it. I wish I could find because all my shit's still in storage, but it might be here. That first cover that you had before, it was still a sick cover then too.
I don't remember now. Not sure.
It came in a jewel case. You gave it to me in a jewel case. No back, like you can't flip it over and read a track list. There was nothing there, but you had a front cover that you put in it. I don't know. It may have been your own personal copy that you had with you or something, dude.
I don't even remember at all. I don't.
Were you giving those away on Bloodletting?
I might have been. I don't remember.
I think you were. I think I remember getting some. I mean, we were getting, like, remember those days? You were getting. I mean, for about 5 to 10 years after that too. You were getting just like piles. Every tour, you just get like a pile of CDRs from people, and people constantly going like, "Dude, let's go to the car and go listen to you got to hear this fucking shit." And then you go out there and be like, "All right, dude, let's go check." And after a while, it's like, whatever, I'll like, just give it to me, and I promise we'll listen to it on the road, because I feel bad because you get so many people.
Yeah, I think I would just shove them all in my bag, and then when I got home, then I listened to it whenever I had time, like, or whatever.
Yeah. We just had a ton of time on the road, so we used to just listen, just go through them and just give them a chance. So, like, because a lot of people just go like, "Fuck that," a lot of bands just be like, there's too many, they get fucking lost, You
discover some good shit that way,
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of bands that there was. I forget.
I remember back in the day at Milwaukee Metal Fest. What was it? Saturian gave me the first Severe Torture demo tape, and I was like, "Oh shit!" It's awesome.
Damn,
yeah, dude.
You never know what you get.
That's why you always got to listen.
You've released 2 albums this year, right? It says House by the Cemetery and Hypoxia came out this year, right?
Yeah.
Damn. So was that just all kind of done this year or within the last few months, or when did those come out?
Those 2 albums came out this year, so I guess they were done the year prior, or it takes usually a year for things to. So probably 2023. And then that year I also did the black metal project or ice or whatever.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So I mean, are you ever planning on hitting the road at all with any of these bands again? Is that ever something that's in your mind? I know that you actually funny memory too. You did hit me up. I was working at Guitar Center and you gave me a message in like 2011, 10 or 11, and you're like, "Hey, dude, do you want to go to Europe and play bass for Vile?" And I was like, "Fuck, dude, I can't fucking afford anything right now. Like, I couldn't take the risk of leaving, because I remember just getting a job back then, like 2010, was like the economy was terrible, and like there's like to get the job at the Guitar Center, there was like 50 people that showed up for a group interview, and like I got the position. I paid nothing, but like there's like guys in briefcases and suits like trying to get jobs and shit, and I'm like, for fucking Guitar Center, like what the fuck's going on? But yeah, that was like right when the economy was like taking a shit. So I remember you hit me up like right around that time, and I was like, dude, I can't take a chance, But yeah, it's just a random memory.
I think Vile was just in Europe just now. I saw they played Obscene Extreme.
Okay.
And, all new members and whatever.
Calling in the gang, all the Ninja Turtles. So yeah, I was gonna get into something. So did you really get into the House by the Cemetery? You kind of glazed over it. What's the style? What kind of what's with the genre?
Swedish death metal. A lot of people are doing that now, but it's a first for me to do Swedish death metal. I've always done death metal. I did black metal, and now I did Swedish death metal. Or I've done American brutal death metal. I've done Florida death metal. I've done, so I like to, now do the Swedish death metal thing.
Mm-hmm. So, is it like Swedish, like at the gates, or like dissection, or what kind of Swedish?
Like Entombed, like Entombed. That whole sound, like.
Yeah, cool, man. I mean, that's all. I've been actually kind of just going back and listening to a lot of the Swedish stuff, and it's I have a great time listening to it, especially when you take a big break from it. You're like, it's fucking what got me kind of like into the more darker, faster stuff. It's
all that pedal that makes that that Swedish sound with the guitars or whatever. You can tell right away.
That Dismember, or is it Dismember?
Yeah, like Dismember. I love Dismember.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's like OSSDM, old school Swedish death metal. But no, I did appreciate what like
a new one.
We've had Sangsugubog on, dudes Sanguisugubog, and they played at Psychofest with Merciful Fate. It was fucking rad. But
nice.
And I got to meet the King after. It was fucking sick. But what's it called? They had this like. We were talking a little bit about the OSDM, and I talked a lot about with him, but like something just so like ignorant about it that I just fucking was like, me and Chris Beatty and stuff. We walked out, we both said the same thing at the same time. We're like, that was fucking ignorant as fuck. That was so sick. Like, it just felt ignorant. It just felt like caveman. It turns you into a fucking caveman and made you want to get violent or something. It was like, and that's what I meant by ignorant. It was they were plugging their guitars into bass cabs, and it was like this really just kind of gritty, just like brutal caveman sound. And I was like, all right, I see what they're doing. And I see a lot of these bands they're kind of one of the bigger OSDM bands. I would say they're touring with like fucking Danny and stuff. They're pretty huge for OSDM. They're playing all these humongous festivals and stuff, but it is cool to see like someone have a twist like that. If you're going to do like an old school style, to have like a little flair on it, something new, but still have it be the old school thing. And just something about plugging your guitars into fucking full stack bass cabinets and guitar cabinets that it was just punishingly dumb. And that's what I told him too. And he was like, okay. But that's such a good, and he even mentioned it to describe bands that he loves right now. It's like, dude, they're fucking so ignorant. It's so sick. And like, it just is the perfect way to describe it. But I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm not drinking tonight. So that's what you get.
You're not drinking?
No. I'm trying to
look at you, dude.
I'm trying to do weekends only now. I mean, I'll probably do a couple pods, but I'm trying to, I was going on a little too much. I was like noticing it was like every night, and I'm like, all right. It's I was like getting used to like being all like hungover in the morning, like, yeah, this is fine. I feel great. This is what you go to work at 7 in the morning. and like take that shower and you feel better after the shower and then have some coffee and then you're back and then you just wait till 6 p.m. again and then you do it over again and then it was just kind of like then you have to drink more and then like it was just kind of one of those things like I gotta tap the brakes, you know. And
well, you still feel like the same Joel, so you're all good, dude.
Oh, I'm cloudy as fuck.
Are you?
I've been working out a bunch. I
it.
installed a basketball hoop and I'm trying to like work out a bunch and
what up, dude?
Yeah.
I want to shoot some hoops when we come down there then.
Yeah, no, I got a like a nice glass backboard hoop. That thing was a nightmare. I installed it at first with like I'm done with it. I'm still haven't, you know, I'm getting used to the construction thing and building stuff. So like these screws were just not long enough and I'm like, dude, it'll hold. And like I like pulled it down, it just ripped it out of the wall and just like almost like would have put me in the hospital if it landed on me. But and then I just got lag bolts. I was like, all right, I just gotta do it the fucking right way. And
yeah,
you know, I almost wasn't here. I almost had a big cut on my head. But yeah, so death metal, dude.
Speaking of ignorant, yes.
I don't know much about lag bolts, dude.
Dude, Mike, this was a fun situation. No doubt, dude. I was actually waiting for this for a long time, dude. I'm not necessarily wrapping it up, but I just want to let you know that you've been on our list for a long time, dude, as a old homie that we've experienced some of the, you know.
Yeah, you guys been trying to twist my arm to get on here for a while. I know.
Yeah. And, no, I've hit you up too. I think we've all hit you up.
Yeah, I'm weird about putting myself out there. You know, I like my music and my art out there, but I don't like being in the spotlight, really. So even now, like I don't like being on camera.
He zoomed in. He like zoomed in on you as you said that. I don't like being on.
But I'm glad that
I don't like being on the spotlight right now. I don't.
I'm glad that you know, just our connection that we've held throughout the years has given you enough to finally come out and do this with us, dude.
Yeah, I think you know, Cali Death Podcast. I did it for you guys.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm stoked.
And I thank you so much for that, dude. I mean, we've done all our praises, so you know exactly how we feel about you, dude. And I'm glad that it's finally happened.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys all again after so many years. I know we're getting older, and who knows, you know, time flies by so quickly. So, you know, I hope we run into each other again at a show or something, or, you know, we can do this again in private or hang out for real, you know, like
100%. 100%.
If I ran into at a show, whatever my plans were after that got totally changed because I'm spending the rest of my night with you. You know?
Yeah, dude. Or if you're ever at the East Coast and come on over, we'll hang out and, you know.
Dude, you're in Jersey, so yeah, anytime I'm in Jersey, dude, I'm gonna be hitting you up, dude.
Get you some Jersey, New York pizza or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, what's the best pizza out there? What's the best pizza out there? Because you were giving me Philly cheesesteak options when I was out there. You were like, "Oh, you went to fucking blah blah blah. You got to go here," and like this hole in the wall place.
Yeah,
I think we went there.
It's never the chains. It's always the mom and pop joints. You know, gotta find mom and pops.
Yeah.
Yep. That was. Yeah. Is there a spot that's like the spot for you out there?
Right now, you know, I know there's a million Mario's, but there's this Mario's nearby here that has the best pizza, in my opinion.
Nice.
Of this area, or of this area. You know.
Fuck yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, come on out. I'll give you some pizza,
dude. I would love to be with you in person at one time, and I'm hoping life brings us that, dude, because you're a good dude. I'd like to be in that spot and see all that crazy physical media that you got hiding somewhere in there.
Yeah, dude, it'd be fun. Go through all the old school shit. My wife collects too, so we have tons of stuff. Too much.
If you ever want to sell that bathroom picture, let me know. I'll buy that bathroom picture of you.
Funny, yeah.
Don't mean to get too personal, but is it the same chick you've been with for
this? You haven't met her, Iris. She's
yeah, but how long have you guys been together, if you don't mind me asking?
We got married in 17.
Yeah, so yeah, it's the same chick that I've been seeing you through your social media for years. Yeah.
Time flies.
Well, that's rad as shit that dude. We're coming up on 19 with me and my wife, so it's rad, dude, to be with a cool chick, right?
Yeah.
And she's a collector of metal too.
It's great because she's also a metalhead, I guess.
Fuck yeah,
I'm
dude.
lucky like that. So we could talk about underground shit.
That's rad, dude.
Nice.
Well, cool, dude. Mike, I love you so much, dude. This is really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate having me on. I should probably get off. It's getting late here. I gotta get up and
we're gonna wrap it up right now, dude.
Whatever, but
we're gonna do a really quick plug recap.
But yeah, man, keep in touch.
We will, dude.
I gotta get some of that coffee for sure.
Yes, that Battleforge coffee, dude. Battleforgecoffee.com. Go over there and Deeds of Flesh. Boom, boom, boom. GeneraryRehearsalStudios.com, Oceanside, California. Go make awesome albums there. Or make the ideas for awesome albums there. VisualDarkness.com, our homie over here on this episode right now, Mike. That's where you're gonna see some really, really fucking cool artwork, guys. If you're into your album artwork, this is where you need to go. Parasitic Sepsicity. I can't believe I think I said it. I think I said it right. That was go to their Bandcamp. That's the
Parasitic Sepsicity.
Parasitic Sepsicity. I think I did it right. Septicity. The professor beating them drums on that shit. All right, guys, everybody, I love you guys. I'm so happy we get to do this with every week with you guys, and we'll see you next week. Rock on.
Thanks,
Have a
Mike.
great weekend.
See you guys around.